Sometimes, when you look back over your life, it can seem like your most important task is to figure out what the hell was really going on. Life poses a deep riddle, unique to each of us. To discover its meaning requires as much consciousness and knowledge of the world and yourself as you're capable of bringing to it. And if you should refuse to examine that deepest of all riddles, then you risk turning your life into a meaningless joke. I lived in Seattle for most of the 1990s, where my personal grunge years were spent as the director of digital art at the Pacific Northwest's largest commercial photography studio complex. One day, while I was looking for inspiration in the photography stacks at the Elliott Bay Book Company, I came across a new book called Sirens by the famous Italian fashion photographer Marco Glaviano. As I flipped through its pages, which featured some of the world's most glamorous models in some of the world's most glamorous locations, I thought to myself, this guy has the greatest job in the world. In 1999, spurred on by a series of synchronistic events, I moved to New York City. How synchronistic were those events? Right after I'd rented my first New York apartment and was in desperate need of a job, Marco Glaviano called me up, out of the blue. He told me he was the co-founder of Pier 59 Studios, New York City's largest commercial photography studio complex, and he wanted me to come work with him there. I had never met Marco or even spoken to him before, but I knew he had the greatest job in the world, so I agreed to a meeting. We ended up working together for the next few years, until I started a Manhattan-based photography services business of my own. I'd come to Marco's attention because of a calendar of my work that had been published in Seattle about a year before I left. 12 digitally altered images from a series I was calling Urban Angels. Victoria's Secret just happened to be one of Pier 59's biggest clients, and Russell James was shooting